One of college basketball's best, Ethan Happ, leads the Wisconsin Badgers into Bowling Green, Kentucky. Tavion Hollingsworth and the Hilltoppers primed to take down a top 15 foe for the first time in a decade.
Michael Jordan, they won it! Wow! Oh my goodness! How about that? Oh boy! Unbelievable! Dreams to come true. As good as it gets.
For the first time since 1977, a Big Ten opponent has made the trip to Bowling Green, Kentucky to take on the Hilltoppers of Western Kentucky. And a sellout crowd at E.A. Diddle Arena awaits. Carter Blackburn, Pete Gillen, a lot of banners, a lot of history, a lot of pride around Hilltopper basketball. Pete, this year's bunch is capable of an upset today.
Western Kentucky is a very dangerous team, Carter. They already beat West Virginia at a neutral site. At Arkansas, which is impossible to do, as you know, and they beat St. Mary's here, so it's going to be a great game.
Our AT&T Fast Analysis, no surprise, begins with Ethan Happ, the versatile big man for the Badgers.
Ethan Happ is a preseason All-American. He's a very special player. He's unique because he can do things all over the court. He can handle the ball like a guard. He goes to the offensive glass, 9 double-doubles, tied for second in the NCAA. He passes out of the pivot. He's a tremendous player. He can take over a game at any time. He really is a terrific senior. And for Western Kentucky, they got a young big guy. He protects the basket on the perimeter. He goes outside, he blocks shot. Great length. And you go inside here in the paint, he controls the paint, Carter, offensively and defensively. He's a wrecking machine in the low post. You try to drive on him, he says, no, not on my watch. And what he does great, Carter, is he keeps the ball alive, and he starts that fast break. It's going to be a great matchup.
Happ versus Bassey. Big Ten versus Conference USA. The Badger State versus the Bluegrass State. Big Red versus Bucky. There is a big red head courtside ready for the Badgers and Hilltoppers, but still the biggest star in town is Big Red, hoping for a Hilltopper upset today over the Badgers. You got the hot shooting Trice, Davison, Iverson, Happ, and Reavers in the starting five. Hollingsworth, Anderson. Benton starts again at point guard. He is the fourth different point guard who has started for Western Kentucky this year, Savage and Bassey. We do not expect to see Lamonte Bearden today for Western Kentucky. 3 games back after coming back of the semester, but he's fighting an ankle injury. Greg Gard, 4th season as head coach of the Badgers. Sweet 16, the first 2 seasons, trying to get back to the NCAA tournament this year. First head job after 25 as an assistant with a native of Cobb, Wisconsin. That's just north of Mineral Point. Rick Stansberry from Meade County, Kentucky. Wolf Creek, 3rd season. He says, hey, we need something extraordinary to happen in this game. We need somebody to step up and have a terrific performance like they haven't had this year. Pete, you talked about that they have beaten quality opponents, but knocking off Ethan Happ in 15th ranked Wisconsin needs to be something special.
It's a big task, Carter, but there's crowds behind them. They are talented players. I think it's going to be a great game.
It is a sellout crowd. In fact, they've sold out the entire season. Students are out, still packed. E.A. Diddle for the Wisconsin Badgers. Only Michigan in 1977, the only other Big Ten team to visit E.A. Diddle Arena.
Exactly, Carter, and we'll talk about a little later why they're here, Carter. We'll talk about that, but right now we see both teams playing man-to-man, and Western Kentucky, as you know, wants to go up and down. They want a game in the 80s because they're athletic. Wisconsin wants to play a game in the 60s.
Did you say athletic? On the lob to the rim, Bassey finishes it off. And what a start for the freshman from Lagos, Nigeria, Charles Bassey.
Carter, there are 11 NBA scouts here to see Bassey and Happ banging, so hope you're watching at home on CBS Sports Network. Stay with us. It's going to be a great game.
Trice answers, I spoke with one of those NBA scouts for the game. He said, have you seen Bassey yet in person? I said, I have not. He said, well, you're in for something special. And there he is with the board on the offensive end. Bassey gets the first 2 shots for Western Kentucky. Happ is capable of pulling it and taking it 94 feet himself.
Carter, he's the most unique big guy, alive, dead, yet to be born. He handles the ball, he passes it, he can shoot it. He's tremendous.
And yet a turnover by Happ here. So Banton at 6'8", running point, meaning sized at every position for Western Kentucky.
He's built like 6 o'clock, Carter. He's thin, but he's very talented, very skilled.
Savage cut off on the baseline. He walked, give it back to Wisconsin. So one turnover to the next. Banton sets it up for Bassey.
Nice throw it up to the moon. He's got great hands, quick feet. Tremendous pass by Banton. Nice finish by the big freshman.
Wisconsin 15th in the nation. They're number 5 in the NCAA net rankings. Happ misses his first look. So a turnover and a missed shot for Happ.
Both of us talked to Coach Stansbury today from Western Kentucky. He said, we're not going to double much because he has such a great pass out of the double team. Happ says, we don't want to give up the 3.
They made 12 threes in last year's meeting in Madison, which went right down to the wire. Savage straight away in Western Kentucky. 5 straight to take the early edge.
I love the way Savage shoots the 3, Carter. Great form, nice follow through, terrific deep shooter.
40% three-point shooter for the native of Bowling Green. Played a couple years at Austin Peay, then came home to play with the Hilltoppers. Happ. Bassey. Bassey has frustrated Happ early. Banton runs it. Pull the trigger, Hollingsworth. And like a Corvette with the pedal down, the Hilltoppers have come out running and gunning.
They want to go. It's a great crowd. They love basketball, Carter. Tremendous tradition here at Western Kentucky. The Badgers, they've got a lot of poise. They're going to come back in and out, taking their time, run their offense.
Into Happ again. Now they double on Happ, so a kick out. Davison off the bounce. Davison. And it all started when they chose to double Happ.
Exactly. Stansbury made a good point to us. That, hey, we're not going to double him because he's such a willing passer. He's very unselfish. One of the best big men in the country, Ethan Happ.
Badger fans know the story, but point guard in high school, 5'8", and he had his spurt, so he has all the skills. Hollingsworth misses the 3. Davison pulls it. You Western Kentucky fans know how Brad Davison drew what was eventually called a charge at the end of last year's game. Bassey flops, no call. Happ's first bucket.
That was something, Carter. It looked like he might have walked before. We're charged, but play on.
So yeah, last year Davison, crafty set of tools for Brad Davison, including drawing a charge. And so Western Kentucky lost that game by 1 at Madison on a made free throw from Davison. So the Hilltopper fans were ready to greet Brad Davison as soon as he touched it.
Exactly. He's a former high school quarterback, Carter. Tough, gutty little guy. He made a gutty play and could have gone either way. It went to Wisconsin's way.
He's hearing it every time he touches the basketball.
Yep.
Happ in the paint on Bassey. Another miss, and it's boarded. So Happ is 1 for 4 shooting in the early going. Charging Anderson. It is a charge. Offensive foul on Josh Anderson, his first on 8-2 start for Western Kentucky. Rick Stansbury's bunch leads it by 2. Of the game in Madison, he said, oh, you have to bring up the bad stuff. So Thompson hits the runner. Here's the call. Originally block on Brad Davison. Then it's reversed into a charge, meaning foul, Wisconsin free throw, and the Badgers escape 81-80 over Western Kentucky. And we have a change of a score from a 3 to a 2. But Pete, let's get into our keys to the game.
Wisconsin, take care of the rock. They only have 9 turnovers a game, one of the best in the country. Eat the glass. They got a rebound. For Western Kentucky, knock down 3s. They don't take that many, Cards, you know, but they got to make 35, 37%. And points in the paint. They got to score in the paint, especially the big guy, Charles Bassey.
Well, pertinent for Western Kentucky, that change in the 3. An original 3 was now changed to a 2, meaning the score has changed to 7 Western Kentucky, 6 for Wisconsin. So that change was made during the break. We'll see which of those 3s it was, but regardless, it's a Western Kentucky team that does not, there's only 4 teams fewer 3-point attempts in the nation. as Davison hits a tough one in traffic to give Wisconsin the lead. So officially a 7-2 start for Western Kentucky, and Wisconsin has already erased it to take the lead.
Yep. He went back now, Carter, to go away from Ethan Happ because he was struggling a little bit against Charles Bassey. They ran some of their offense that they're famous for. They take their time and they run the baseline cuts.
3 seconds as the Badgers D it up. So now let's go back to this 3 versus a 2. And again, the officials went to the monitor during the break and looked at this shot from Hollingsworth and toe on the line. Therefore, from a 3 to a 2. Nice review.
Yep.
And we appreciate Bill Jacobson coming over to tell us about it.
Yes, that was a good call. We've got a great crew here. So little things are big things, Carter. It was good they checked it and they got it right.
And now Joe DeRosa's going back to make sure we're all squared away here. By the way, Joe DeRosa, one of the great officials in college basketball, told us his first referee clinic he ever worked was in this building. And like every official everywhere, he said it didn't start off so great. Never thought that I would be back here in December of 2018. And one of the enjoyable folks in college basketball to visit with, Joe DeRosa.
He's a great person and a wonderful referee, Carter. He did my game way back in 1986, Loyola Chicago against Xavier. He's a tremendous official. He was in the NBA, as you know, for a long time. He's a great official.
Checking on the clocks right now to make sure this is all synced up. Looked like it just stopped at that 14:57. We'll see. See if they change it around. We'll get an explanation here. Looks like Dimexo's coming over to tell us about it. So game or shot clock malfunction, that's one you can easily... All right, so we'll reset it. Pete, you get the explanation?
Yes, I did. Explain it to me by Ty McCaskill. He said that the game clock was a timing error, so they had to correct it.
All corrected?
All corrected.
2 reviews, but speedy ones.
All right.
And now Trice brings it up for the Badgers. The sophomore from Huber Heights, Ohio. His cousin, Antoine Floyd, was a star running back for Western Kentucky. Happ backs in on Bassey. The freshman big man from Nigeria. Happ finishes this time. Second bucket for Happ after a 1-for-4 shooting start.
Once again, anybody can take 4 or 5 dribbles, Carter. You're going to get right to the rim. He's terrific at that. Bassey played him very well. Good defense, better offense.
It's an 8-0 run by Wisconsin after the 7-2 start. Anderson with a left. Bassey, step back. Charles Bassey, St. Anthony Catholic School in San Antonio after he moved as a teenager from Nigeria. Then Aspire Basketball Academy. He mentioned as an NBA potential lottery pick next year after 1 year at Western Kentucky.
Carter, he's 18 years old, so he's just a young guy, but he's got a great future.
Just turned 18 in October. He reclassified his senior year of high school. Happ on Bassey again. This time, forced him into a miss. They continue to go single down low with Bassey.
Well, once again, leading scorer for the Badgers, 19 a game, so they got to go to their best guy. But right now, Bassey's played him tough.
That is a lob to the post for Bassey and a bit of a bailout there. It is on Happ. So Ethan Happ gets a bit of a cheap one down low for his first personal, and Ethan Happ's going to get a rare break for Wisconsin.
I think that's a good move by Greg Gard, the coach of Wisconsin, Carter, to calm him down, take it easy. He's probably going to say, hey, turn and face him. Instead of backing him in, turn and face him and then try to drive by him.
Well, we had that discussion with both Ethan and Greg Gard today, saying a variety of different ways teams defend you. He said, you know, you try and study up as much as possible on film to get ready, but then different teams do different things, sometimes possession to possession. So I'm sure he's seen Western Kentucky doubling a lot, and now here it is, Bassey playing Happ straight up, doing it well.
Exactly, and his strength and his size and his athleticism has given Happ a little trouble early in the game.
Charles Thomas clears it for Wisconsin. Trice crosses over.
They're running a swing offense with Bo Ryan started, and boom.
Brevin Pritzel knocks down the 3. A 40% three-point shooting for the Badgers. Huge improvement over last year.
Yeah, Wisconsin last year about 33%. They weren't very good from downtown. Tops in the Big Ten, as you know, Carter, from three-point land.
Badgers get another takeaway on defense. Trice into the front court, pulls the trigger. Trice. Long rebound, won by Hollingsworth. Hilltoppers run. Hollingsworth into the corner. Air ball three in transition from Banton, but the Hilltoppers keep it. Rick Stansbury said last year when they doubled the habit, led to 12 made threes by a Badger team that was not a good three-point shooting team last year. So put Bassey on the roster and you're worried about the three-point shooting for the Badgers, you can see why.
Yeah, it's a good move because Happ is a fabulous passer, Carter. Just gets rid of it, knows where the double team is coming from, and as you said, Wisconsin, the top three-point shooting team in the Big Ten. So good decision by Stansbury not to double.
Hollingsworth floater off the inbound to bring Western Kentucky back with a bucket, rather. Kobe King on the wing for Wisconsin.
Taking their time. They love to run the swing offense that Bo Ryan started. 2 guys out, 3 guys on the baseline. A lot of screens on the baseline.
Davison contested deep three. That's not going to draw a smile from Greg Gard with an air ball three. So Wisconsin had an 8-0 run. A 2-point edge at the under 12.
Taught facing him a little bit, mixing it up a little bit. So, but right now, Bassey's doing a great job.
Unique seems to be the word that everyone uses with Ethan Happ.
Yeah, because he's 6'10", Card. He can bring the ball up like a guard. All right, he really is skilled. He's a tremendous passer, 5 assists a game. Double-double machine, tied for second in the country in double-doubles. 9 double-doubles out of 12 games, Carter. So he's a fabulous player. But he has to improve his perimeter shot. The 17, 18-foot shot is not what he needs, and his free throw shooting, Carter, as you know, is not real strong. It's only 51%. So for a great play, you got to do a better job than that on the free throw line.
9 double-doubles. That's second in the nation. Minnesota's Jordan Murphy also has 9. Mike Daum of South Dakota State, 11 double-doubles to lead the nation.
He's tremendous. I saw him at a camp a couple of years ago, at Under Armour camp. Unbelievable. Great play. Big guy. Big drink of water.
Oh, that is not a good return to the floor for Jake Omer, who has barely played this year for Western Kentucky in 6 games this year for Omer, 6 of the 12. He's a guy Rick Stansbury said we need him to step up right now without Bearden. And you have Deshaun Murray, who's already left the team, so it's a short-handed bunch for Western Kentucky.
Especially on the perimeter. You know, Bearden's banged up, so they got some problems.
Happ misses again. 2 for 7 star for Ethan Happ.
Right there, Carter. Point blank shot.
Anderson on the wing. Stop. Floater boarded by Davison. The sophomore from Maple Grove, Minnesota. And the big flagrant foul in overtime against Marquette. Fritzl air ball. Hollingsworth runs the Hilltoppers. Into the corner. Happ clears it.
Look at bringing it up. How many 6'10" guys can bring it up like that? Look at bounce pass into the post is a foul. A lot of referees dressed in red sweatshirts and red windbreakers.
I mean, the assist to turnover, he has the only Wisconsin turnover in this game, but is nearly 2-1. He leads them in assists. And you're talking positionless basketball now, and Ethan Happ is the embodiment of that for the Badgers, for sure.
Yeah.
You mentioned the free throw shooting, Pete. That's the big, on the road this year. 3 road games.
Right.
3 for 13 free throw shooting for Ethan Happ.
But he's scoring well on the road. 21 points a game. But free throw, it's more mental. Speaking with the coaches and some of the people from Wisconsin, radio guy, and there's Davison.
Yep, in the corner.
Tough cookie, quarterback in football. He had a lot of shoulder separations last year, 8 shoulder separations. Tough customer.
Careful off the bounce. Into the post. This is Tolu Smith. Tolu Smith, he walks. Wisconsin's playing excellent defense early on against the Hilltoppers.
Yeah, God, that's one of the things. They hold their opponents to 61 points a game, which is terrific.
They've turned over Western Kentucky 6 times already.
Yep. Well, they do a good job. They take care of the ball and they force turnovers. So we'll see if Rick Stansbury changes his defense a little bit.
Badgers 9 turnovers a game. That's 3rd fewest in the nation. That's an offensive foul on Nate Reavers on the post. His first personal.
Backing his man in. It was a good call.
So Wisconsin, though, 2-1 on the road. Wins at Xavier, at Iowa. The loss at Marquette in overtime. 2-0 in the Big Ten already. There's 3 in the corner since Wisconsin on the run. Trice. Meach, as they call him, turns the corner, now into half. Dig down with Savage, rejected. Bassey gets the block and sends the Hilltoppers on the run. Off the block shot on Ethan Happ. And now Bassey wants it on the offensive end.
Give him the ball. They're trying to front him.
Bassey's working hard for it against Reavers. Anderson stops, floats, follows his miss. Anderson with a tap back to pull the Hilltoppers back within 3.
Josh Anderson, terrific athlete, Carter. 6'6" sophomore from Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
With a sellout crowd behind him here in Bowling Green. Into Reavers, wide open for the dunk as Savage slipped on the low post. So Reavers gets a dunk, and the crowd gets quiet again.
Wisconsin does a terrific job in a half-court offense. Got great spacing, a lot of baseline screens. They try to go inside.
Here's a lob to Bassey. They fronted him, draws the defense. Now Banton with a left. Nice finish around Nate Reavers. Or Delano Ben, freshman from Toronto. Started for just the 4th time today. Happ, no look, behind the back. Iverson finishes it off on the assist from Ethan Happ.
5 assists a game, Carter. Tremendous passer for a big guy. Real good feel for the game, and he's a willing passer, very unselfish.
Anderson buries the 3. Big boost for Western Kentucky. Bring them back within 2. Second made 3 of the game for Western Kentucky. They don't shoot a lot, don't make a lot. Iverson can't answer. Anderson has the rebound around Happ. Josh Anderson pushes. Can't finish. Happ clears it, brings it back. Happ with his eyes up, bringing it down the court. Happ wants it. Davison finally gets it to him. So backing in on Bassey again. Happ, hook, around Bassey this time. Happ wins this matchup.
That's what we got to keep doing. Keep attacking the basket. Try to get him in foul trouble. Sometimes Bassey gets in foul trouble.
3 for 9 shooting now, and the block by Bassey. Bassey wants it again. Denied. 3 to shoot. Kick out. Anderson. 1 to shoot. Gets it off. Can't get it in. Follow no good. Happ has the rebound again.
Part of the pace is at Wisconsin style. Taking their time to making West Kentucky play defense.
Iverson uses a shot fake on Bassey to get to the rim.
Yeah, Iverson's a slasher, Carter. That's what he does best. Attack the basket off a bounce. Not a great three-point shooter, but good offensive rebounder, good slasher.
Iverson missed the December 13 game with a knee injury, and the Badgers were very happy to know that was not a major injury. Bassey draws a foul. It is on Happ, and that is his second at the 5:56 mark of the first. So Happ sticking with it. Takes it right at the big man, Bassey, get out. And then Happ comes right back. Badgers by 6.
basketball on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by AT&T. More for your thing. That's our thing. By Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. And by Tostitos. For every kind of fan.
John Kotz was the most outstanding player for the 1941 Wisconsin Badgers. They won an 8-team NCAA tournament. Bud Foster, the national championship trophy is here. There's a lot to break down in this one, including the track team that looks like the Doobie Brothers, and of course, Big Red. Pete, one of your favorites, right?
I love Big Red. He's tremendous enthusiasm, and he's fired up. We saw him before the game. He's the best.
We'll get back to Big Red and the tie to Gene Katie in a moment, but for now, Ethan Happ, right before that last time out, picked up his second personal. So 5:56 of the first half. Pete, how do you approach this with a 6-point lead, Happ on the bench?
Well, once again, every coach is different, Carter. What I used to do is sit him for a while and put him back in. But as long as you get the lead, you're fine. But every coach is different. Every coach knows his players. So if you keep the lead, I'd rest him for a while. I'd bring him in with about 2 or 3 minutes to go.
Without Happ, still missed. Savage on the run. So we'll see what the Badger offense looks like with Happ on the bench for an extended period.
Yeah, we go to the swing offense at high post, and they get screens on the baseline, Carter. That's what they're going to do. They run their half-court offense. They want to try to put the crowd to sleep, put the defense to sleep. Just take their time. Into the shot clock, get it to Trice, who's their second leading scorer, and give him a ball screen.
There's a screen from Thomas. Trice takes the three. Thomas gets a foul. Push it off, going for the offensive board. Trice, who is shooting 54% from three, third in the nation, but misses this one.
Yeah, tremendous shooter. He missed over 20 games last year, as you know, with an injury in December, and the team was 15-18. They had been to the NCAA tournament, caught in 19 straight years, which is phenomenal, and first year they missed because of the injuries.
And one, Savage able to finish and draw the foul. So they've already shaved 2 points off. Davison's going to come back for the Badgers, not Happ yet.
You got time. You're still up 4 points. Long way to go in the game.
Foul is on Aleem Ford. And again, Savage will head to the free throw line. The junior from Bowling Green. How about this, Pete? How about the running out? This is at Austin Peay. This is what got to kill you when you have transfers, right? His freshman year, they're an 8 seed in the Ohio Valley Conference tournament. 4 wins in 4 days. He hit 19 threes in those 4 games to lead him to the OVC title. 1 more year, then transfers.
I love him. What a beautiful shot card he has. I mean, he's averaging 15 points a game, shooting very well, 39% from downtown. He's really terrific. Got to get him more shots.
His 3-point plays pulled him within 3. Davison has an answer in the corner.
He's a tough cookie, this guy. Anybody's a quarterback in football, get pounded.
And now Davison picks up the point. The 6'8" Bantam. Bassey backs his way in, and one. Takes it to Charles Thomas and does a little chatting after he finishes through the foul.
Get the ball, nice bounce pass into the post. Nice pump fake. Chuck Daly would love that. The violent pump fake. Get the defender off balance. Whoa, pump fake. Nice finish. Charles Bassey, a special freshman.
And he is hanging fouls on the Wisconsin big man with 2 on Happ. Thomas gets that one, his first. Bassey, 6'11", Lagos, Nigeria.
Western Kentucky's got to keep going on Carter. Can't forget him now. Can't get amnesia.
2 on Thomas, 2 on Happ for the Badgers.
Running their swing offense. 2 guys outside, 3 in the baseline. Tremendous spacing, a lot of screens on the baseline. And they break it down. If it doesn't work out, Carter, they go to a pick and roll at the end for one of their point guards. If Trice is in the game, they go to him.
That foul was on Savage. Rebound taken by Bantam, nearly throws it away. Hollingsworth has to run it down. Sophomore from Lexington.
Got to get a good shot now. You're Western Kentucky. That's it. Go to the big guy.
Bassey trying to fake everybody out on the baseline. Cuts it off. Hollingsworth cuts. They're playing through Bassey now, Pete. And the Hilltoppers have cut it to 1.
Let the big dog eat. Get it to the big guy. If he's not hungry, he'll kick it out. Wisconsin has great poise, though, Carter. They got to take their time, right? Keep attacking the basket.
8-2 run while Ethan Happ sits. Wisconsin's hanging on to a 1-point lead, and we got a timeout with 3:32 to go in the first. A 1-point game in Bowling Green. 3:32 away from the half. We'll send you back to New York. Brent and John, AT&T at the half. Full recap of the college basketball action, including the one down the road with the Cats and the Cardinals. Kentucky versus Louisville. That's coming up on AT&T at the half. Well, we know that Ethan Happ's one of the best players in the Big Ten. I love Pete's picks.
Yeah, I got a big head there, Carter. Carson Edwards, tremendous guard, one of the best guards in the country from way downtown. Ethan Happ, who's not playing like one of the top players in the Big Ten today, but credit the defense by Bassi and Romeo Langford from Indiana, freshman for the Hoosiers. Those are my top 3 guys in the Big Ten.
And a bounce-back year for the Big Ten right now with 6 ranked teams.
Yep, 6 teams, a much better season this year for the Big Ten. As you know, only 4 teams from the Big Ten went to the NCAA tournament last year. They were Michigan, Michigan State, Ohio State, and Purdue, Carter. So there's going to be a lot more than 4 this season.
And the Badgers missed the tournament for the first time since 1998.
Right. We said before, 19 years in a row, Wisconsin had gone to the Big Dance. Bo Ryan, friend of mine, friend of yours, he went 15 straight years. Okay, before that, Dick Bennett, great coach. Tony Bennett, his son, doing an unbelievable job at Virginia. 2 years, his last 2. Then Greg Gard, his first 2 years, went to the NCAA tournament.
In the corner out the inbound, Trice missed 3. Trice struggling, 0 for 3 from 3. Outlet Bassi cannot save it, give it right back to Wisconsin. So Trice coming in at 54%, and he has missed all 3 of his threes in the first half. So the Badgers struggling on the road, and yet a 1-point lead.
Yep, they're doing well, they're fine. They just got to keep shooting. You got to keep playing. It's a 40-minute game. The old boss at Notre Dame, Digger Phelps, said it's 40 minutes. You got to keep playing, do what you do.
Happ still on the bench. Hilltoppers have outscored him 8-3 without Ethan Happ, and a turnover by Reavers. Loose ball. Davison runs it down to bring the Badgers back. With a man advantage, Davison. Iverson stops and hits it. Wow, Iverson recognizes the shot clock winding down and nails it.
Veteran, 6'5" senior from Delaware, Ohio. Terrific poise, Carter. Wisconsin team won't get rattled. They play with a lot of poise, a lot of gumption.
And now a takeaway, Davison steals it. That's 8 turnovers by the Hilltoppers. Davison's leading the way. Poke from behind ends up with a foul on Banton. So with Happ on the bench, Trice struggling, Brad Davison is leading the Badgers on both ends.
He's a gutty guy. I love him, Carter. He's the type of guy, if he's on your team, you love him. If you're going against him, you really don't like him. So, but Western Kentucky averages 14 turnovers a game, so that's one of their problems. A good team, Carter, as you know, averages maybe 10 turnovers a game, or 11, but 14 is way too many.
And the Badgers are at 9. Excellent.
Yep, one of the best in the country.
Trice misses from the baseline. So overall now 1 for 5 shooting for Demetric Trice.
We go inside to the big guy, Bassi.
Bassi draws it down and hammers it down anyway. Rise up atop the hill, Charles Bassi.
Wow, got to keep going to him.
Toppers with the crowd behind him, a chance to take the lead. Deep 3. Savage clears it. Rather, Ford clears it.
Wisconsin, take your time. Don't rush. You don't want to get in a shootout. There we go.
There's Trice with a quick 2. Second made bucket. Western Kentucky, a chance to take the lead would have been huge.
Yep. There's Rick Stansbury coaching his face-off. Played a tough schedule, Carter. At Washington was a tough game. At Arkansas, which he won. West Virginia, neutral site. So he's played at St. Mary's here. Tough schedule because he knew we had a talented team. They picked, as you know, preseason #1 in Conference USA by the coaches.
The sellout crowd.
Great crowd. They love basketball here. A lot of tradition, Carter. And then Jim McDaniels was a great player many, many years ago.
Had some great battles with Artis Gilmore.
Yes, you were a little mogul then. You weren't even a mogul. You're going to be a mogul.
Woo. Davison pulls up.
Whoa!
Oh, tough three with Savage's hand in his face. And Brad Davison says to the EA Diddle crowd, settle down.
Yep.
He has quieted the rabid Hilltopper fans with a deep three.
Wisconsin, a lot of poise. Davison going after him. He says, oh, yeah, take that. Right in Savage's mug. Great game. Stay with us. CBS Sports.
You know, we got to call up Gene Keady today and say there's a rumor that you were behind the creation of Big Red. And maybe we'll get into the specifics of that later. But Coach Keady, who's in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, 2 successful years here at Western Kentucky. And yes, he begrudgingly said he had a hand in it, but maybe his bigger contribution was moving the benches from the baseline to the sideline. In his words, He was running into officials too much.
No, Gene's a great coach. He got me involved with Conference USA, involved in there in USA basketball, and a great guy. Did an unbelievable job at Purdue and great job here at Western Kentucky. He was with the Johnnies for a while, right? With Steve Lavin as an assistant.
Former assistant. Hollingsworth, shot clock turned off. Step back, blocked by Reavers. The Badgers do it with D. So Ethan Happ picks up his second personal with 5 minutes, 56 seconds to go before the half. He sits the entire time, and Wisconsin still takes a 4-point lead to the half. After the break, Brent and John in New York, AT&T at the half. You're watching college basketball on the 24-hour home of CBS Sports.
CBS Sports presents AT&T at the half. AT&T, giving you more for your college basketball thing.
Welcome, it's AT&T at the half alongside our insider John Rothstein. Locked and loaded as always. I'm Brent Stover at the break. 15th ranked Wisconsin leading by 4 at Western Kentucky. Your thoughts?
Western Kentucky executing the game plan. Rick Stansbury told me yesterday that the goal entering this game for Western Kentucky was not to allow Ethan Happ to be a facilitator. Only 1 assist in the first half. Hilltoppers in good shape after 20.
And Happ only has 6 points as well to go that 1 assist, 4 points and 2 fouls. Elsewhere in the Big Ten, number 8 Michigan State back in action following their holiday break, hosting Northern Illinois. This game was earlier today. And John, as expected, it was one-sided. Michigan State up by 5 first half, and it's Cassius Winston.
One big part of that junior trio, Winston, Langford, and Ward. Business as usual today in East Lansing. Cassius filling him up, Brent, from multiple spots on the floor.
All right, it's 59-38 second half. Winston had 24. He was 6 of 7 from downtown. It's 62-38. Then Matt McQuaid, pretty feed.
Nick Ward, slimmer, trimmer. He's not feasting during the holidays.
Like the rest of us are, right? 88-60, Sparty wins. High point, number 13, Ohio State, C.J. Jackson for Andre Wesson.
Been a really consistent glue guy for the Buckeyes out of the gate. That 3 made it an 18-point game.
Keyshawn Woods for Jackson, open wing, 3, 51-32. Now it's 56-37. Jackson had 20 in the game, John.
Chris Holtmann with this win is now 23-5. It's in terms of a combined record in November and December as Ohio State's head coach. More meticulous than a forensics officer.
82-64, they win easily. Belmont taking on Purdue, already Purdue with a 9-point lead, John.
Carson Edwards doing things on Carson Edwards Island, making shots from deep. The big key for Purdue long term. Can they get an ancillary piece to the puzzle? Ryan Klein, a candidate, driving, missing, and then a strong finish inside. Purdue, a very strong defensive effort against a very good Belmont team.
The game, I guess, just went final there. Purdue wins by 11 at 73-62. Radford and Maryland tied at 3. Ed Blight Jr., Carlik Jones for 3.
Yeah, one of the heroes of last year's run in the postseason. Radford already winners this year at Notre Dame and Texas. They are a really good mid-major basketball team.
They lead 19-14 in the first half. 79-38, Nebraska continues to be impressive as they beat the Mustangs of Southwest Minnesota State.
Nebraska has one of the best guards in the country that nobody knows about in James Palmer. If he was at Indiana or Michigan, All-American.
He had 16 in this blowout win. 74-52 Penn State with an easy win on UMBC. 70-55 Rutgers over Maine. And FAU, another Conference USA Big Ten matchup, which we have on our air, beats Illinois by 2.
Kudos to Dusty May and Florida Atlantic. Already 2-1 a game earlier this year at American favorite UCF.
And again, that is a big win and a huge loss for Brad Underwood in Illinois. 59-36 other CUSA scores as La Tech leads Southern Miss, and final North Texas over Rice 103-87. Break time here on AT&T at the half. Wisconsin on the road, leading by 4 on Western Kentucky. First college football playoff game into the third quarter. All Clemson leading Notre Dame 23-3.
Looking forward to January 7th. Who will they play? We'll see tonight if they get a rematch.
Wow, well done. Good analysis, John. All right, back to the college basketball. By the way, John, his call time was like 4 p.m. He was here at like 9 a.m. Kansas and Eastern Michigan, Udoka Azubuike, Jayhawks 37-21. My point of it, John, is that you're a company guy. You're supporting the football and college aspect of this thing.
You have to, especially when Kansas got healthy today. Udoka Azubuike back in the lineup. There you see the entry pass. Kansas 24-point winners at home.
He had 23 on 10 of 13, 87-63. Sixth-ranked Nevada taking on Utah.
5 starters for the Wolfpack can all buy an alcoholic beverage legally. That's how old they are. You don't see that a lot in collegiate athletics. Great patience in the second half. 3-point shot by Caleb Martin. He had 33. This is the last game that Nevada will play against a power conference team until the NCAA tournament. Could run the table.
It's amazing. 86-71. Davidson in 14th ranked North Carolina. Kenny Williams misses. Nasir Little is there to stick it back.
And that's what Nasir Little is expected to do. No Kellen Grady today for Davidson due to a knee injury. Davidson was competitive for a half, but then too much Cam Johnson, too much North Carolina. Little, a dump, another 3 by Johnson. Carolina getting healthy after losing to Kentucky. What do the Wildcats do today?
82-60. Nice segue. They take on Louisville. We love the rivalry. P.J. Washington for Keldon Johnson.
The best intangible player that John Calipari has had since Michael Kidd-Gilchrist.
Tyler Hero, fun to watch.
Stretching the defense, opening things up for Calipari and company. They follow up the North Carolina win with a tremendous road triumph. Kentucky looking like the team we expected to see at the start of the year.
71-58 career high, 24 for Hero. This one ended moments ago. Princeton, Arizona State, 2-point game, John, until that shot.
Sebastian Much makes the 3, then a chance here for Arizona State. Rob Edwards, a look, doesn't go. Always beware the long tip out, Brent. Remy Martin, a prayer, not good. But Lugens Dort gonna have a chance. It's no good. Shocker in the desert 7 days after beating top-ranked Kansas.
67-66. BYU and Mississippi State, 8-point game second half. Eric Holman gets it from Quindary Weatherspoon.
Eric Holman, a burgeoning star for Ben Howland, who looks like he is a top 4 or 5 team in the SEC. Holman also shooting the ball very well from deep, looking like a young Robert Ory.
103-81, nice. He had a career high 28. Tennessee drills Tennessee Tech. Second half, Auburn all over North Florida. And a final, Houston at number 22 beats NJIT 80-59.
That's 12-0 for the Cougars.
Got about 60 seconds, and I got 4 topics I want to hit right here. Let's start with Arizona State losing to Princeton.
What a difference 7 days make. Obviously a brutal loss, not just for Arizona State, but also for the Pac-12. Arizona State was carrying a flag for the league. A loss like that, true brutality.
And it's been, obviously, you've said it, the Pac-12 is just not good.
Not good, clearly. And you have to wonder right now as we progress, will it come to pass that the Pac-12 has one team in the NCAA tournament? That will obviously evolve between now and Selection Sunday.
Quickly, Kentucky over Louisville.
Kentucky looking like the team we expected them to be. No disrespect to Quade Green. His transfer out of the Wildcats program has cemented Kentucky's role allocation. It's concrete. It's succinct. John Calipari, again, has the Wildcats trending upward in the January.
Nevada is for real, correct?
Nevada, to me, looks like it has a chance to do what Wichita State did in 13-14. Enter the NCAA tournament undefeated.
Second half, Wisconsin, Western Kentucky is next.
I don't want to demean the superstars because Dennis Frogman has earned the respect all in the mascot game. But, Pete, you have been waiting years to give us your Final Four picks for mascots.
I love mascots, Carter. Remember, we had Sammy the Owl, but here we go. My favorite, Bucky the Badger, the Notre Dame Leprechaun. I was there for 5 years, so I'm a little partial. And Herbie the Husker's awesome. He's got a big head, but he's awesome. I got a big head. But now here, my favorite is Big Red. Look at these. Unbelievable. Big Red is the best. I love Big Red. A lot of these guys, Carter, are former coaches who couldn't win on the road. Some of these guys are students. Some of these guys are, people they pick up in town. But we love mascots.
Shockingly, you like a guy with a big red head?
I like a big red head.
I'm stunned.
I got kind of a clock. They used to call me headquarters when I was in college, some of the players on the team. But no, mascots get a lot of color and interest, and these guys they're the favorite. But Sammy the Owl that we did many years ago, he was a runner-up. He's almost in the Big Four.
YouTube it. Now, in the meantime, let's talk about this basketball game and talk about how Davison gave Wisconsin a huge boost. Happ gets a second personal. Brad Davison takes over the game.
Exactly, Carter. Here he scores inside, nice pump fake. He scores a trap. Carter, he's averaging 9 points a game. Right now, he has 13. He's shooting 41% from the field. Right now, it comes off a screen. Right now, he's shooting 83%, 5 for 6. So right now, he's a tough guy, Carter. He had 8 dislocations of his left shoulder last year. They reset it, he kept playing. So this guy is a tough cookie, and I really admire him playing the way he did the first half.
First half stats brought to you by Tostitos. An early turnover by the Badgers in half, but they only turned it over twice. So Western Kentucky, they had every opportunity, Pete. They had Happ on the bench with 2 personals. They had cold shooting from Demetric Trice, and yet somehow Wisconsin was able to go into halftime with a 4-point lead.
Right, Carter. That's because there are 2 big things, as you know. They don't turn the basketball over, only 2 turnovers, and hold their opponents to 61 points a game, one of the best in the country. And right now, Western Kentucky only has 30, so my math isn't great, but it'll be 60 for the game. So those are 2 of their staples.
Well, credit Wisconsin for keeping Western Kentucky off of the foul line, because under Rick Stansbury, that has been a staple. The old Bobby Knight stat of more free throws made than your opponents attempted. Well, Western Kentucky checks that box. This is just the 4th point from the foul line in the game for Western Kentucky.
Exactly. No, they do a great job. Their offense, once again, it kind of puts you to sleep and gets you out of your rhythm. They take their time. They want to swing it. They love those baseline cuts.
A first half with only 2 free throws. Happ immediately down low with the left. So the second half begins. It's a touch for Bassey for the Hilltoppers and a touch for Happ for the Badgers, and both score.
Got to love the spacing of Wisconsin, Carter. They're really spread out. You got a lot of room to penetrate. Keep going to the big guy.
Savage couldn't finish. Iverson bothered it. Happ has the rebound. So Happ with 8 points, 5 rebounds in 14 minutes. Turnover, however. Bassey brings it back. And now Anderson attacks the rim. Top this. A sophomore from Baton Rouge. Iverson with a left, so an answer. So big dunk, you get to within 2, and then give up an easy 2 on the other end.
Yeah, too easy now. That put the crowd back in their seats, Carter, a little bit. They switch a lot on screens now. I'd go back right now to Anderson. Reeves can't guard him, drive it. Oh, missed an opportunity that time, Anderson.
Hollingsworth stops, pops from the free throw line. The sophomore from Lexington, Dunbar High School.
The tempo's picking up. That favors Western Kentucky because they're more athletic. They don't execute quite as well in a half court.
So we'll see if the Badgers slow it down on this possession.
Sound like a coach, Carter. You're getting very cerebral. Get me nervous.
Happ finds Davison into the post for Iverson. They double Iverson and force him into a miss. Savage looking to attack. Banton off the bounce, drops it back to Savage. Savage goes up and finishes over Reavers, even at 38.
I think Big Red, the mascot for Western Kentucky, talked to the guys at half. Got him juiced.
He's got the hands up. Banton pokes it away. Bassey picks it up.
That's one of the few turnovers for Wisconsin, Carter.
Hollingsworth kick out. Banton. Hilltoppers on top.
I'd call a timeout now if I'm Greg Gard. Got to stop the bleeding. Momentum, big time right now for the Hilltoppers.
Gonna play through it. Trice lost the handle. Anderson, watch out!
Now we'll see a timeout, I'm sure.
9 straight for Western Kentucky. Hilltoppers have outscored the Badgers 13-4 to start the second half. One last chance in the regular season to get up early with prime time Adam Shine and that other pregame show crew getting you set for Week 17 tomorrow, 8 a.m. Eastern, right here on CBS Sports Network. So 9 straight for the Hilltoppers, and Pete, I mean, clearly playing their game to begin the second half.
Exactly. The tempo is a lot quicker. It favors Western Kentucky because they're more athletic. They're quicker. They don't execute quite as well. Banton from downtown. They're in their rhythm. They're feeling good. Another steal, which is rare. Wisconsin turning it over. Anderson with the flush. So see what happens now. So what Wisconsin got to do, Carter, is take their time, go into their preseason All-American, Ethan Happ, and get a good look for him.
Carter Blackburn, Pete Gillen, our producer Scott Brandwine, our director Corey Fishman, E.A. Diddle Arena, Western Kentucky University with a sellout crowd.
Yep.
The 15th ranked Badgers, it's into Happ. Savage rips in and gets a foul.
Carter, we got a dream team crew here behind us in the truck. All right, Matt Kushner, AD's doing a great job, doing a lot of stuff together, so we got a great group. Billy Milstein's got a lot of good ideas, presents right before the game.
Like Bassey and Happ. Now here's, speaking of, here's your home versus road free throw shooting for make it 4 of 14. So as soon as we put that one up, Happ calmly knocks in the free throw.
Yeah, we talked to Happ. We were impressed with him, Carter, right? This afternoon with the shoot around, poise, and very humble. Nice young man.
Thinking back to a couple years ago when he was the sophomore star on a veteran team, he said, well, the biggest thing is we're all friends. Now here he is as a senior, and clearly all eyes on him. And he's taking the chemistry and sharing the basketball part seriously.
He's a willing passer, Carter. He's very unselfish. Got hit.
Savage plays through contact. Western Kentucky.
I love Jared Savage, Carter. He can shoot it. He can handle the ball. You got to get him more touches, more looks. Price got to get going now for the Badgers to win.
Finds Happ. Missed it at the rim. Iverson there to follow up. Nobody put a body on Khalil Iverson. He gets a second chance bucket.
Keep looking for the big guy. Go inside. Get Bassey the ball. We wanted it.
Banging down low, and sure enough, there's a whistle. Western Kentucky 45-42. Can number 15 Wisconsin come back on the road? At 6-6 out of Conference USA, the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers have a 3-point lead against the Wisconsin Badgers. You go back to the Conference USA championship game. It was a CUSA Player of the Year, Justin Johnson, who's now in Italy, leading the way for Western Kentucky. But in the end, Marshall, John Elmore, and the Thundering Herd go to the NCAA tournament for the first time since 1977. Beat Wichita State. And Pete, this is amazing. 4 straight years Conference USA has won a game in the NCAA tournament.
Exactly, Carl. It's a terrific league. It's an underrated league. A lot of excellent teams. And for 4 years in a row, beating big power teams. Iowa State, Michigan State, one of the biggest upsets ever in the NCAA tournament. Minnesota, you know, and they beat some good teams, Iowa State. So it's an excellent league, and we're glad to be part of it.
That was Middle Tennessee, Minnesota was the 12-5 that Vegas had Minnesota as the underdog. So a big win, but maybe not a big upset.
Yep, exactly.
Trice out of the timeout, pulls the Badgers back within 1. Trice, who got off to the slow shooting start, 2 for 6. That's his first made bucket of the second half. Bassey and Happ matched up. It's into Bassey, the freshman on the senior. Fights through contact. Bassey, big time in the post.
Yeah, he's so strong. He's bullying right now Ethan Happ. He's a freshman going against a redshirt senior.
So the 11 NBA scouts in the building to see Happ and Bassey. And now they're banging on both ends. Happ wins this one over Bassey.
Yeah. When a big guy scoring, Carter, what I would do as a coach, I would consider playing a zone. Just 1 or 2 possessions to try to get them out of their rhythm, out of sync. But Wisconsin doesn't play zone. Western Kentucky does a little bit.
Anderson off a screen from Bassey. Fight for the rebound, won by Pritzl and the Badgers. Trice, rejected. Hollingsworth gets a block. Run out. Anderson fouled by Trice. Tough D from Western Kentucky.
Yep, we hear about the defense in Wisconsin, but Western Kentucky also plays pretty good D. Here he comes off a ball screen. Nice block that time by Hollingsworth. Kicking it ahead. Anderson, good catch. He looked like a split end Carter, catching the ball over his shoulder. Josh Anderson, a very talented player from Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
I've not heard the phrase split end in a while, even there in this bowl season.
I know, well, I'm trying to be diversified a little bit with my football terminology. I know you do a lot of football for CBS and SEC games and NFL, so you're trying to relate.
The Badgers beat Miami in the Pinstripe Bowl in the Bronx.
That's a big one, yep. Badgers, it's a great school, Carter. Madison, you know, tremendous city, right? It's
wonderful.
Great. It's an unbelievable place.
Now, EA Diddle Arena, our first time here, sellout crowd. This is a fun college basketball environment.
Exactly. I love this arena. I've never been here, heard so much about it. I've seen it on television, but it's a great arena. So we're fortunate to be doing it. It's a big-time game now. How this game came about, Carter, can you briefly mention that?
Well, it's a package deal between football and basketball. So Western Kentucky played road game in football, got a home-and-home, and credit to Todd Stewart, athletic director for Western Kentucky. Got the same deal with Arkansas, too. So the Razorbacks will be coming here next year in basketball.
Yep, that's a great move by Western Kentucky.
Trice, outlet, Savage, finger rolls it in, and Western Kentucky leads by 4 against the 15th ranked Badgers.
Yeah. Wisconsin's got to get back, Carter. Get back in transition. Without Ethan Happ now, the offense slows.
Got a hold and a break for Western Kentucky.
Long shot, long rebounds. They push it. Great pass. Nice pass that time. Excellent pass. All right, and a nice finish inside. So, all right, Happ's back in. He went out, Carter, for a cup of coffee, but no time for the cream, so he had to come right back.
And Ford heads back to the Wisconsin bench.
Yep. Ford's a good player, but Happ's their star. Price got to get going, Carter. Terrific player. Second leading scorer for the Badgers. Hats it, face him.
Happ. Oh, and lost it at the rim. You do not see Ethan Happ miss that one very often.
Nope. And like they missed it up that time, he mixed it up, Carter, by facing him.
Ulmer gives it up. Anderson in the corner. Off the bounce. Anderson, touch to the rim. Off the window. Hilltoppers have their largest lead of the game. 7 minutes into the second half.
Heck of a move that time. Josh Anderson playing possessed.
Happ above it inside again. Recovers and finishes this time and one with a foul on Smith. Happ sticks with it and ends up with a chance at a three-point play.
Nice job. He's got great footwork, Carter. Tremendous hands inside. He shot fakes. The shot is blocked that time by Anderson. He goes up again. Nice pump fake. Whoa, oh my God. Spin around. Got more moves than a can of worms in that low post, Carter.
Misses the chance. Reavers has the board, and now Reavers. So instead of 1 from the foul line from Happ, 2 from Reavers, and we're back to a 2-point game.
Exactly. Carter, a lot of the pro scouts love Reavers because he can knock down a three-point shot. He can put it on the deck. He's going to be one of the next stars for the Badgers in the future.
Sophomore from Minnesota at 6'10". Ulmer needs some help.
Take their time. I go into Smith inside. He can score inside the big fella.
Runner won't go. Happ has the rebound and a chance for the Badgers to tie or take the lead back. Davison attacks and finishes to tie it at 52.
They should not boo Davidson, right? Boom, he wakes him up. You gotta let a sleeping dog sleep. Sleeping Badgers sleep. Wake him up. Any guy that had 8 dislocations of his left shoulder and kept playing for the season, Carter, he's tough as nails.
And he's not shy about talking to the fans here in Bowling Green.
No, I love it.
Feed to Smith on the post. It's taken away by Reavers, and the Badgers have a chance to regain the lead. Happ gives it up. Here's Reavers. Fight for the rebound. Cleared by Savage. Back and forth at E.A. Diddle. First points of the season for Jake Ulmer. Gives Western Kentucky the lead again.
At halftime, Carter, Western Kentucky had 0 points from the bench. Donut. Big three by Ulmer.
And then on the other end, he gets a foul tangled up with Brad Davison. So Jake Ulmer giveth and taketh away.
We got a great game here. We got whiskey going, but then we have an answer from Western Kentucky. Shootout. Here we go. Nice attack in the basket. Boo Davison says, take that. Goes right to the hoop. But we got a guy named Ulmer. Who is this man? From 3, way downtown. Splash. Stick with us on CBS Sports Network.
Revisiting our AT&T Fast analysis, Pete told us it would be a matchup of the big men. And Happ, after struggling early, Pete, I mean, you cannot say his stick-to-itiveness is questioned because he just keeps at it.
Keeps attacking the basket. Nice touch. He reads the situation. What a tremendous English on him. He's shot block. He's persistent. Calvin Coolidge would love him. Nothing in the world takes the place of persistence. But here we go. Charles Bassey. He's a tremendous big guy. No! Excellent block. Here we go again. Missed shot. He's a Terminator on the offensive glass. 2 terrific big guys. One a redshirt senior. One a freshman, 18 years old.
Look at the field goals. It's taken Happ 15 shots to get to 14 points. Bassey only 6 shots to get to his 13, plus 1 block for Charles Bassey.
You got to get him more shots if you're Western Kentucky. 6 shots. He's shooting 83%. And, he's doing a good job on Happ for sure. 6 for 15. That's only 40%. But tremendous game. 2 talented big guys. 2 well-coached teams.
Last year in Madison, it went down to the wire. Maybe another finish ahead. Happ off the assist finds Kobe King, the redshirt freshman. La Crosse, Wisconsin buries the 3. Tied at 55. 3-pointer off the inbounds play out of a timeout.
That's great coaching by Greg Gard. Nice job.
Floater spins out. Bassey rips it, brings it down, gets a foul call. Looked like Ford reached in after Bassey cleared it.
That was a great offensive rebound, Carter, in between 2 Wisconsin players. Went up and got it. Happ was one of them. Charles Bassey. Special guy. Remember his name because, Carter, he's got game.
Savage on down inbound with a long 2. Hilltoppers back on top. Wisconsin, only the 2nd Big Ten team to visit E.A. Diddle Arena. Michigan in 1977. Happ cut off on the baseline by Bassey. Here goes Happ. Bassey strips it away. Picked up by the Toppers off another Ethan Happ turnover. It is the 3rd turnover by Ethan Happ. Ulmer pulls it back out. Banton.
Banks it in. Carter, it's 5-6 in Bowling Green, Kentucky. The banks are open. Make a deposit, get your interest. In Brooklyn, they don't count that. You got to call your banks. But here, Bowling Green, Kentucky, they do. 3 points for the Hilltoppers.
Banton is officially on triple-double watch in his 4th start for the Toppers. Happ backing in on Bassey again. Forced him into a miss. Cleared by Banton. Hollinger! Largest lead for Western Kentucky. It was Wisconsin by 4 at the break, behind a sellout crowd. Western to the top. That is the Capital One Mascot Hall of Famer, Big Red. And in the second half, Western Kentucky has been big.
God, it's been their transition game. Nobody picks up Hollingsworth from way downtown. That was like a 4-point shot. He got a little slow. He's fired up. Hollingsworth, terrific player, Carter, from Lexington, Kentucky. Tavion Hollingsworth.
Mr. Kentucky at Paul Lawrence Dunbar High School led the Bulldogs to a state title. 8-0 run by Western Kentucky.
Wisconsin goes back to their swing offense where they have 2 guys outside, 3 in the baseline. Great spacing. It doesn't work out. They go for a pick and roll.
Davison step back, buries a top 3, quieting the crowd again. Long 2?
Long 2 card, I believe. That's what the refs were saying. They might have to check it, but I think it was a long 2.
It will nevertheless end the 8-0 run by Western Kentucky. Bassey into the post on Hack. Taken away. Davison gets a steal. So a top 2, then a steal, and Brad Davison to the rim. Davison again leading Wisconsin. Back to a 4-point game.
19 points for Davison, Carter. He averages 9 a game, so he's more than doubled it. We still got 8 minutes and change left. Gotta love his gutty performance right now.
Gets a foul on the other end, though. Tangled up with Hollingsworth. Maple Grove, Minnesota, representing for the Badgers.
Off a pick and roll. Nice shot. Here we go. He cuts right to the hoop. They try to strip him. Boy, terrific plays. Having an unbelievable game. Last year he scored a lot because, as you know, he played the point guard when Al Trice was out. Now he took a role where he backed off a little bit. They need him today, and he's responding so far really well.
Under 8, timeout coming. 3 to shoot. Bassey attacks. Bassey finishes through the contact for the Hilltoppers again. Charles Bassey. Happ backing him down. Draws the double.
First time they doubled in a while, Carter.
Davison, bump on Hollingsworth. That's a travel. Turnover. Hollingsworth D'ing up Davison now as they go back and forth. And with 7:32, Western Kentucky has a 6-point lead on the Badgers. Bassey bringing it. .32 to go. Time to check back in on Pete's keys to the game.
Well, Wisconsin take care of the rock. They're doing that. 7 turnovers is very good. But Ethan Glass getting killed on the boards, Carter. -8 to rebound. Western Kentucky knocked down 3s, yes. Second half especially 4 for 4. Right now they're 6 for 12, better than usual. They only make 5 a game, so they're ahead of that. Points in the paint. 36 points in the paint for Western Kentucky. They're doing a good job with that. So right now, Western Kentucky's doing 2 things in the keys. Right now, Wisconsin's only doing 1. They're not rebounding. They got to get in the glue, Carter, get in the mud, get in bloody nose lane, and get some rebounds.
You surprised to see that rebounding differential for, a good rebounding Wisconsin team?
I am, Carter. They got to get more guys in there. It's not enough. It just can't be Ethan Happ who gets 10 a game. It can't be just him.
Happ, he gets a break right now out of the timeout.
Yeah, it's dangerous now. Danger time for the Badgers, but they have poise. They just got to rely on their D, Carter, which they're very good at. They got a rebound and miss shot.
Ben, 3 to shoot. Floater. Boarded by Reavers.
Great D by the Badgers that time. Now, take their time. I go to Reavers on a pick and roll card. He can knock down a 3. He's very talented. He's got to step up. Running their swing offense, a lot of baseline cuts. Then they start freelancing off it.
Into Reavers on Bassey.
He's got to have the confidence to take it.
Looking for help late in the shot clock. Trice gonna have to take it. Hollingsworth had a hand in his face late in the shot clock. 6.5 to go. Western Kentucky trailed by 4 at the break. Leaded by 6.
Big possession for both teams now. Got to get a stop if you're Whiskey.
Bassey faces up. No stop this time.
No. That time the difference. Bassey had the confidence of taking. Reavers deferred and passed it out.
Largest lead of the game for Western Kentucky. Foul away from the ball. Looked like it was Anderson. His 3rd.
Bassey turns and faces his man. Reavers backs off. Nice shot by Bassey. This West Kentucky team, Carter, when it's a big game, they step up. Sometimes on the road, they're maybe not as excited. The crowd isn't as big. They lost to Troy, who's a solid team. Indiana State is solid, but, you know, those are games they could have won.
Happ and Davison both back in for Wisconsin. And here's Davison in the corner, finding Happ. Happ takes it to Bassey. Bothered him again at the rim. Didn't block it, but bothered the shot, forcing Happ into another miss.
Must have been 4 or 5, Carter, right at the rim. He couldn't finish.
Hollingsworth step back. A double-digit lead for the Toppers.
Take their time, keep going to Happ. If they double him.
Happ cut off, kick out, forward. Davison got a foul. Reavers going up for the rebound, picks up the foul because Davison was about to get the loose ball.
Look at this guy, he's fired up. Lane foot, great that time, kick it out. Goes in, he's getting bumped a little bit. Happ just, yep. Bassey might have got a piece of it on the way up. 5 times at the rim, Carter, just rolled off, but credit the defense by Bassey.
Davison pokes it away. Davison gets the steal. Badgers on the break. Davison, hard foul by Anderson. Brad Davison created it himself. Witten got the ball. Foul and a trip to the line. That's 4 on Anderson.
Here we go, the big point guard. That time Banton got stealing. Goes to the basket. Goes right at his chest now. Right at Anderson's chest. 19 points right now for Brad Davison stepping to the line. He's trying to bring him back himself. Happ's not having his usual excellent game. Davison now with 20 points, Carter.
And Anderson's going to sit with 4 personals. And Western Kentucky, very thin bench. Not helped by the fact that Merrick Nelson got a DUI this week. He's suspended. Lamonte Bearden, ankle injury. He's unavailable today.
The other young man left the team. Murray left the team.
Yep, Deshaun Murray was a transfer from Auburn. Got suspended for the opener, then played 8 games and decided it was time to bounce.
So 3 perimeter guys, Carter. So it's tough to lose that many, but Rick Stansbury's doing an excellent job. He says, when he told us today, we're going to need a couple guys to step up. Well, having that right now. Omer made some big plays, a big 3. Did a nice job with that. Right? Tola Schmidt did a nice job defensively, come in for a couple of minutes, so they're getting some contributions from their bench that they hadn't had before.
Davison 21 today, his career high 30 versus Michigan State last year. Hollingsworth attacks, kick to the corner. Banton, air ball. He's been tremendous, but air balls that one in its last touch by the Toppers back to Wisconsin.
8 points. Now, once again, Wisconsin is not an easy scoring team. Takes them a while. Still plenty of time yet. Greg Gard's an outstanding coach. First 2 years, made the big dance.
Wisconsin almost 4 minutes without a field goal, and Omer keeps it that way. Blocking Davison. Jake Omer.
From behind, Davison looked back, Carter might have slowed him down a half second. Omer, who is that man? Did it with offense with the big 3 before, now defense.
He hadn't played in the last 6 games for Western Kentucky, but because Bearden's hurt, Nelson suspended, Murray's gone. Here's Omer. He's got a 3 and a block. Happ takes it in on Bassey. This time spins it in as Wisconsin continues to play through Ethan Happ.
You got to do. Go with the guy you brought with to the dance, right? He's their All-American candidate. Preseason All-American, and the way he's playing, got a chance to be postseason All-American.
Omer thought about it. Thought about pulling the trigger, got a timeout from Rick Stansbury. Said we need something extraordinary to happen. Jake Omer's first career block has helped the Hilltoppers lead by 6. Our AT&T game summary shows you how Western Kentucky has built a 6-point lead. Banton, Delano Banton, is 1 basket away from a triple-double. 8 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists. He's been fantastic, as has Charles Bassey. He has been up to the task against the All-American Ethan Happ.
Oh, he's shooting 7 of 8 from the field. Nice move in a low post. He got Happ on his back. Excellent defense. Here we go. He bothers him on a little piece of that shot. He's really bothering Happ inside. He turns it face and hits a 17-footer against Reavers. He's doing a great job. Put on a clean 17 points, 7 for 8 from the field, 87%. Got to get more shots, Carter. I mean, he's doing an unbelievable job against the tremendous big guy in Ethan Happ.
He just turned 18 in October. This should be his senior year of high school, reclassified to play for the Hilltoppers and then likely moving on. But Charles Bassey has acquitted himself well today against the Badgers. Out of the timeout. Davison gets to the floor. That's possession arrow. It'll be Wisconsin ball. Davison diving in there to dig it out of the timeout. And the Badgers get it back down by 6.
Got to do now, keep going to your big dog. Get it to Ethan Happ. Unless you have a wide open shot.
Trice, quiet today. Reavers into Bass. Into Happ, rather. Backing in. Bassey gets the block. Homer brings it back. Charles Bassey, his second block on Ethan Happ.
They're going to take their time, Western Kentucky. Get a good shot. Keep going to Bassey. He's rolling right now.
Hollingsworth nearly crossed himself over. Try not to break your own ankles.
Exactly. That happens. Go to Bassey. Wants the ball. Reavers is not athletic enough to guard him if you get him the rock.
4 to shoot. 3 to shoot. Hollingsworth going to have to jack it. Long rebound into the hands of Trice.
Not a good shot. That hurt the Hilltoppers, that shot.
Trice pulls the trigger. Banton has the rebound. Double-digit rebounds, double-digit assists for the freshman from Toronto, starting just his 4th game as Western Kentucky's point guard.
Trice, one of the top three-point shooters in the country, Carter, is 0 for 5 this afternoon from downtown.
Over looking for Bassey. 4 to shoot. Hollingsworth gonna have to take it again. That's 3 straight wasted possessions for Western Kentucky, and then a foul. Davison runs it down and gets fouled by Savage. That's his 3rd personal. But the bigger issue for the Hilltoppers, 3 straight possessions, don't have a good shot.
Yeah, they're going to know what's a good shot, Carter. Went to shoot, went to pass. That's a big decision right now. The decisions haven't been great, as you mentioned, the last couple of minutes.
And Davison, who was a career 82% free throw shooter, but he missed 3 late versus Marquette, then the flagrant. 2 for 2 today. And Davison, who's helped carry the load for the Badgers. Gets the front end. Perfect scenario here for Wisconsin. You get a loose ball foul, 1-and-1, clock stop, and excellent free throw shooter to the line.
Exactly. They don't have to grind out the half-court offense, Carter.
Davison gets them both. He had the game-winning free throw last year versus Western Kentucky and Madison when it went down to the last second.
Problem for Wisconsin, Carter, they're not a pressing team, so they get behind. They got to grind it out in their half-court defense.
Hollingsworth, first bucket in almost 3.5 minutes for the Toppers. Wisconsin led it by 4 at the half. Western Kentucky built a double-digit lead, and now the Badgers trying to come back with Happ, finding Davison for 3. Foul on the rebound on Reavers as Savage flies in to get the board, and a dead ball foul on Wisconsin.
Attacking the basket, nice move by Hollingsworth. Good finish. Leading scorer for the Hilltoppers.
Badgers putting some pressure onto the backcourt.
I like that, Carter. They're going smaller now. They took Reavers out, which I liked. A little smaller.
Hollingsworth, trouble in the backcourt. Hollingsworth, that's a tie-up. Possession arrow will keep it with Western Kentucky.
Remember now, the point guard spot for Western Kentucky has been won by committee. They don't have a real veteran point guard. Lamonte Bearden's academics first semester, and he's banged up now. His knee isn't 100%, so that's one trouble spot for Western Kentucky.
And can the Badgers take advantage of the point guard issues for Western Kentucky? Now Banton has been phenomenal. And gets it across into the hands of Savage. Anderson skip. Hollingsworth wanted it. Banton resets. 7 to shoot. Hollingsworth off the bounce on tries. Tough turn from the baseline. Tavion Hollingsworth. He rolled his ankle. He's slow getting back on the other end.
Badgers got to score this possession.
Davison finds Happ. Happ, shot fake, Bassey blocks it. Happ gets it back, right back up. Off the window, fight for the rebound, won by Western Kentucky. Happ had 2 looks, Bassey 1 block, and that's how it's gone for Bassey versus Happ today. Anderson, and 1 with a foul on Iverson.
Anderson take it to the cup. Contact, finish. It's a great crowd here, Carter. Tough place to play. You can see why a Big Ten team hasn't come in here since 1977. Talented team, great crowd, great atmosphere.
Anderson gives Western Kentucky its largest lead with 1:12 to go. So the Badgers had a chance. You get it into Happ twice, and the All-American blocked by Bassey again, and the freshman has gone toe-to-toe with Ethan Happ. It's desperation time now for the Badgers. Anderson commits a bad foul to send Davison to the line and stop the clock. And that's 5 on Anderson. He's fouled out. So Josh Anderson, the sophomore, who made the tremendous play attacking to get a 3-point play and an 11-point lead, now he's fouled out. Now Western Kentucky, proud tradition. Sweet 16 7 times, most recently 2008 under Darren Horn. They went to the Final Four in 1971, but this would be the highest ranked opponent that Western Kentucky has beaten at home since number 6 Providence in 1973. A team that is 6-6, underperformed to this point in the season. Davison gets the front end. Up next, we'll send you out for the rematch between Oregon and Boise State. Second time that they have matched up in the last 2 weeks. That is coming up next on CBS Sports Network. Davison misses the second. Western Kentucky closing in on an upset win over 15th ranked Wisconsin.
That's what Wisconsin got to do now, Carter. They got to foul right away because they're not quick enough to get a lot of steals. They got to foul, and hopefully West Kentucky will go 1 out of 2. All right, take them down, make a 3 or score a bucket. So that's their only prayer right now, Carter.
You know, in our chat with Rick Stansbury earlier today, I reminded him when he was an assistant at Texas A&M, and they came back from 14 down against Northern Iowa with 43 seconds. Mike Jaminski and I were there to watch it. And I reminded Coach of that, said, that changed the way you think about games? He said, absolutely. So, 1:05, you're up by double digits, and you know the last person in the building who's comfortable right now is the head coach of the Hilltoppers.
Exactly, Carter. He sees that. Game's never over with a 3-point shot.
Davison misses that look. Loose ball, won by the Hilltoppers. Banton, Omer, run out. Happ has the rebound. Badgers bring it back. Here's Pritzel, pulls up. Pritzel misses the 3. Happ, loose ball into the hands of King, rejected. Bassey, Happ sticks with it and sticks it in. 32.5. Too much time to get that 2-point bucket from Happ. Bassey has another block, and now can Western Kentucky close it out with 32.5 to go. .5, Wisconsin hoping for a miracle. So Pete, what's the way that the Badgers can pull this one off?
Well, what they got to do, Carter, number one, they're not a pressing team, but they got to put a guy in the ball, all right, a little press and then trap the first pass. They get out of it, got to foul right away. Until we saw Banton miss the free throw before. That's their only prayer right now, down 8. It would take a miracle, but miracles do happen. You mentioned before when Texas A&M beat Iowa State recently, so in the NCAA tournament that you did, Mike Kaminsky. So it could happen, but once again, it's going to be difficult for Wisconsin, who's not a comeback team.
You got to get it in bounds first, right?
Exactly. Got to get it in bounds. All right, it's a 1-2-1-1 zone press by Wisconsin. You got to trap the first pass and then give a foul. That's
There
it.
you go. There's a foul given by Trice, sending Hollingsworth to the line.
Extend the game now. It's going to be a long 30.9 seconds. If you want to get home and see Law and Order reruns, it's not going to happen, Carter.
Mentioned that 1977 visit by Michigan here, the only other big team. Well, Michigan won that game, but Western Kentucky, that was one of the trips to the Sweet 16 in 1978. Hollingsworth trying to ice it. The Western Kentucky Hilltoppers from Conference USA picked to win the league after they lost to Marshall in the title game last year. Last year's Western Kentucky team, they won 27 games. NIT semifinalists beat Boston College, USC, Oklahoma State in the NIT. Trice hits the three, giving Wisconsin a little prayer with 22.2. Foul given, that will send Savage to the line.
2-possession game, Carter. So still, it'll take a miracle, but it's not over till it's over. Greg Godd's done a great job.
Last win over an AP top 15 team was versus Louisville. They had the win over West Virginia, but that was West Virginia, not the AP poll. So that's why that AP poll note there for Western Kentucky.
It'll be a great win now for Western Kentucky going into conference play.
Trice dumps it off. Happ inside. Happ back to a 6-point game, 14.3. Happ gives the foul, sending Hollingsworth back to the line. Four players with 15-plus points for Western Kentucky. Banton in his 4th career start, Pete. 8 points, 13 rebounds, 10 assists.
Yep, almost a triple-double. Tremendous. And as you mentioned before, Wisconsin's a tremendous defensive team. They hold people to 61 points a game. Western Kentucky right now has 80, possibly 81 with this free throw.
51 points in the second half for Western Kentucky.
They sped up the tempo, Carter. The pace was their pace.
Trice with a foul on Hollingsworth, stopping the clock, 9 seconds. Rick Stansberry not happy about that foul, stopping the clock and sending Trice to the line. So down by 4 at the break. Western Kentucky explodes in the second half. Get this free throw back to 6 points, 9 seconds, 2 possession. Gonna need some threes. Wisconsin in the game has made only 6 threes, 6 of 21 from 3-point.
Yep.
And Trice misses the second pass. He has the board, and that just about does it. Half fouls, 8.1, 3 possessions with Bassey going to the line.
Yep. That'll do it.
And Happ is fouled out. A frustrating trip to Bowling Green, Kentucky for Happ. Yes, 20 points and 12 rebounds for another double-double, but 9 of 23 shooting. He fouls out, and we'll have to watch 15th ranked Wisconsin. The last 8.1 from the bench. Well, last year in Madison, Western Kentucky thought they got a bad call late that helped Wisconsin win that one by 1. No doubt about this one. Western Kentucky has taken the fight to the Badgers, especially in the second half.
Did a great job, Carter. The transition game, the pace of the game, speeded up, and that was to their advantage, and it really stepped up. This team really answers the bell when they play a big-time team.
For the first time in a decade, Western Kentucky beats a top 15 opponent, upsetting the Badgers 83-76. Charles Bassey leads the way for Western Kentucky. Big Red, the sellout crowd here at E.A. Diddle Arena celebrate.
Great win. Offense was terrific. They speeded the game up. Bassey, as you said, Carter, controlled the paint offensively and defensively.
A late Christmas present for Western Kentucky basketball fans. They knock off number 15 Wisconsin 83-76. Wisconsin takes its third loss. A loss in Marquette in overtime on the road, and now in Bowling Green, Kentucky. 19 points, 6 rebounds, 4 block shots for Charles Bassey. The big man battle won by the freshman, Western Kentucky, 83-76. More to come from E.A. Diddle Arena in a moment. For the first time since they beat Providence in 1973, a home win over a top 15 opponent, Western Kentucky over Wisconsin 83-76. Coming up next, it's Pac-12 versus Mountain West, the rematch of Oregon and Boise State on the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. The winning coach, Rick Stansbury, and Charles Bassey, the star of the game, are with Pete Gillen.
Thanks, Carter. Rick, congratulations. Great win. Now, Wisconsin holds their opponent to 61 points a game. How'd you get 83 points against this talented Wisconsin team?
Well, that guy beside you had a whole lot to do with it. He drew a lot of attention, and, you know, we thought we had an advantage if we could get stops, because we're pretty athletic in transition. And I thought we were able to get enough stops. I think the big key was the game was his ability to guard half one-on-one. Kept us from doubling, kept him from creating so many plays for those other people, and that was a huge, huge key to it.
He was tremendous. How about Delano Banton? Almost a triple-double. How good is he? He's 6'8". I says he can't play point guard against him. He was fabulous.
As I told you earlier, we just starting to get a little bit of rhythm on our basketball team. He's going to make some mistakes, but they're fresh mistakes. But he's got a great feel. That ball goes through his hands, and his size, getting in that lane, he finishes things.
Tremendous. I'm going to talk to the big guy now. Charles, great game. Now, you're playing against one of the best big guys in the country, a preseason All-American. How were you able to get 19 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 blocks? How do you do that?
My teammate, you understand, they gave me the ball. We play tough, you understand? So, like, the energy from the fans, and it was great. So, I mean, we had a good game.
How do you like playing with Delano Banton, a point guard like that? Tell us about him.
Yeah, he's a good player. You know, he looks for you. He can pass the ball. I mean, he had some good assists during the game. So, I mean, having a point guard like that on our team, it's a good deal for us. So.
Now, you're going into conference play coming up next, 7-6. How much important is this game now going into conference play, this victory?
I mean, we just got to continue playing the way we play. Just coming out every first half, second half, just playing tough. Like Coach said, every first 4 minutes we're going to win it. So we just got to do that. We're just going to win the game every time. So, I mean, we played tough, as you can see. So it was a good game. I mean, thanks to the fans, and like the energy was great. It was a great atmosphere. So it was a good game. So I'm happy for that.
Charles, congratulations. Rick, great win for you. Conference USA is proud of you guys. Thank you.
Thanks, Pete.
Back to you, Carter.
All right, Pete Gillen, Charles Bassey, Rick Stansbury. The celebration is on. Western to the top, indeed. For Pete Gillen, our entire CBS crew, I'm Carter Blackburn. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. Now we send you back to Brent Stover and John Rothstein in our New York studio.
What a win, what a game out there. Thanks a lot, guys. Well done there at Western Kentucky. It's an 83-76 upset over 15th-ranked Wisconsin. Our insider John Rossi and I'm Brent Stover with you for the next 3 minutes before we get you out to Boise for Boise State at home against Oregon. How about this win for the Hilltoppers, John?
Well, Charles Bassey, one of the dominant big men, not just in Conference USA, but in all of college basketball, outplaying Ethan Happ tonight. And this is why Western Kentucky is such a mercurial team, Brent. They've beaten Wisconsin. They've beaten West Virginia on a neutral floor. They've won at Arkansas. They've also lost to Troy. They've also lost to Indiana State. But you see right now why this team could be so interesting if it does indeed make the NCAA tournament.
All right, Bassey, you talked about 19.6 rebounds. Obviously, Hollingsworth with 22, Savage 16. I mean, they got some ballers on that team.
Yep.
Obviously, first time in a decade they beat a top 15 team. Up next, I mentioned we got Oregon on our air, so let's talk about another Pac-12 team. It's an Arizona State team last week that beat KU, John, but they ran into a buzzsaw against Princeton. This was a massive shot late.
Yeah, Peacock today, feather duster tomorrow if you're Bobby Hurley. Princeton took the lead on that three-point shot, and then Arizona State with a chance to get the win. Rob Edwards, a scramble for the ball. It's going to come out to Remy Martin. He has a chance for the three. No good. One last chance. Lugens Dort. No good. Arizona State loses at home to Princeton. This could knock them out of the top 25 for the rest of the season.
It was Sebastian Much with that game-winning three as the Tigers win it. Santa Clara, Washington State, Josh Martin. Nice little pass there. The finish, it's 40-36. Martin, again, with a nice feed underneath.
Yeah, Washington State playing without their top player, Robert Franks, but you still can't lose to Santa Clara on a neutral court if you want to make hay. It goes from bad to worse for the Pac-12, and look at what's going on at Pauley Pavilion.
So Santa Clara wins 79-71, and at Pauley, UCLA in the second half down 11 to the Liberty Flames. Indeed, what is going on in the Pac-12? Arizona State was their only ranked team. We expect them, obviously, to fall out of the rankings. The Pac-12 next week will have nobody in the top 25.
You are looking at a situation right now, and I want to point out that Oregon, who is about to play Boise State right here on CBS Sports Network, is playing shorthanded without Bol Bol and Kenny Wooten. If they're healthy, they could be the team that gets back on track. But I got to say this, on December 29th, I think if Arizona State falls out of the polls this week, it's going to be very difficult for a Pac-12 team to return to the top 25 this season.
Let's preview the game you just alluded to here on CBS Sports Network. In moments, it's Oregon on the road against Boise State. It's Pac-12 against Mountain West. What do you expect in this game?
Boise State's defense has to be all over Peyton Pritchard. Leon Rice told me yesterday that that's the key to the game. Boise State has to defend Peyton Pritchard and rebound with Oregon, which will be easier for the Broncos without Kenny Wooten and Bol Bol.
How big of a game is this for the Broncos to welcome in a Pac-12 team and get an upset?
Well, you want to build momentum towards conference play. Boise State also hosting Nevada in the next couple of weeks, so opportunities to make national statements for Boise State.
But again, December 29th, the Pac-12 is in dire straits, is what the point is.
Looks like a one-bid league right now.
John Rothstein, I'm Brent Stover. We'll send it out. John Sadak, Bob Wenzel, Oregon, Boise State for the game. Enjoy.